Hi guys, welcome to Rajshri Food. This is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar, and today I'm going to make a recipe which was created as an additional option by the Indian dhabas, a vegetarian option called Soya Chaap. And later I'll extend that into Soya Chaap Tikkas. So let's begin. For this, I'm going to use dried soya bean. This needs to be washed nicely and soaked in hot water overnight. Well, if you do not have that much time at hand, you could also soak this for a minimum of 3 hours. Once that's done, I'm going to drain this and grind this into a fine paste. Well, just before grinding this, I'm also going to use some soya chunks and I'm going to boil this for 10 minutes. If you do not have this, you can also use soya granules. To this, I'll just add a little bit of salt and allow this to boil. To help this grind further, I'll be adding in some water. That's ready. Let's transfer this in a deep bowl. The soya paste is ready. You could do this in small batches to make sure it grinds to a fine paste. While that's done, the soya chunks are also boiled and ready. Let's drain these now. The soya chunks need to cool down completely or to a temperature where it's relatively easier to grind. The soya chunks have cooled down. I'm going to grind this into a coarse paste in the same grinder. Transferring this into the same bowl. To this, I'll be adding refined flour and along with this, some salt. Mix this well and convert this into a stiff dough. I'm going to transfer this on a worktop and continue kneading this. The stiff dough is ready. Let's now continue with the process of making chaap. A soya chaap is nothing but a meat substitute. You could make this in various shapes like tikkis, sausages, meatloafs, but what I'm doing is classic and available in most dhabas. And this one is lacing it over candy stick. For this, I'm going to cut this into small lemon-sized balls and keep it aside. The texture needs to be nice and porous like this. Let's move on and take some flour on a table. Let's pat this and roll this into a thin chapati. The next step is to cut this into strips. This could be ½ inch thick, like so. And this gets placed on the candy stick like so. The chaap has been rolled on the candy and is ready. This now gets boiled. For that, this goes straight in boiling water. Make sure the pan is not overcrowded and the chaap gets enough space to cook in that. The sign of a perfectly cooked chaap is that it starts floating, and that may take a minute, 2 minutes or 2.5. Once these start floating, you need to drain this and transfer this into chilled water. The soya chaap is cooked up to this stage. It's now nice, tender and porous. At this stage, this can also alternately, if you need to freeze it, can get into Ziploc bags and easily stay for a month. You can use this soya chaap for making your starters, main course, sabzis, basically any recipe that catches your fancy. For now, I'm making a nice chatpata masaledar soya chaap tikka. For this, I'm going to make a basic tandoori marination using some fresh yogurt. To this, for some additional creaminess, fresh cream, roasted gram flour, garlic paste, ginger paste, chaat masala, red chili powder, garam masala, and very little turmeric. Give this a mix and add in some salt and lemon juice. You could also add in some mustard oil, but that's entirely optional. Whisk this nicely and your tikka marination is ready. The next step is moving on to pan frying these, for which I'm going to heat some oil in a pan and along with this a dollop of butter. This is for some additional flavor and completely optional. While the oil is heating, I'll apply the marination to the soya chap, and this straight goes in the pan. Well, you could also bake this at 200 degrees for 20 minutes or air fry this for 8 to 10 minutes. After cooking this on high flame for a minute, we need to flip this over like so. And finally, some chaat masala and chili powder. I hope with this soya chap tikka, I've added one more recipe to your cooking skills and broken the monotony of serving paneer and mushroom all the time to my vegetarian friends. Stay tuned and wait for what next the Bombay chef gets into your kitchen. Also, do like and share our videos and subscribe to Rajshri Food.